Welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. This is Aftermath of Dynamite. It is Thursday night, October 5th, at about 7:20 Pacific Standard Time, 10:20 Eastern Standard Time. I almost thought you weren't going to come. I waited and I was like, I'll give it a couple minutes. And then I was like, I'll go
So
live, I guess. I'll make them suffer and listen to me alone for a minute. Hopefully she'll come real quick. And then you popped up. I was like, yes, good.
no, like I have a new tablet, and I didn't think it would be that freaking hard to let it have access to the mic and freaking camera. I'm like, are you
Uh,
serious right now?
I see. So, you got new technology?
Yeah, my sister got me a new tablet.
Nice. You're a baller now. There you
Oh,
go.
gotta stop talking crazy about her.
Uh,
Oh, are you frozen? Or am I? Oh snap. Okay.
yeah.
All
How's
right. Cool.
that?
Cool. Cool. Yes,
Is that
much
okay
better.
now?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. I could tell because the little wheels showed up. The screen went black and the little wheels started spinning on the screen.
Okay.
Uh, so
But yeah, I'm doing this through my phone, so as long as we're all here and I'm all good. Oh, all right, there we go. Okay. Okay. So ALW is refreshing stuff and we're getting it ready, but I will talk poetically until he gets it all good and well. Um so if y'all have not been in the world of wrestling this week has been a very eventful, moment in wrestling. We usually will do everything of AEW because this is our only show to tell y'all our original AEW review. Now, if we do watch alongs on Rampage on Fridays, Friday night fights, and Saturday nights, because it's all right on Collision. But if you just this is the show if you want our thoughts on the process, right? So as of right now, we're going
all
to
right.
be in this
Now,
together.
now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Daggone it then. Okay, so this is really perfect because TBS had technical issues on Dynamite, and so it's leaking into us right now. So
Now I can hear
I'm
you.
yay. Okay, yay.
Oh, and you can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right.
We can hear each
So
other.
let's
Yeah,
see. Let's see if we can do this here. So
yeah.
last Friday's Rampage, which was the 30th, it started off with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass getting the victory over the Hardys and Brothers A. I swear I saw somewhere online it said Hardy Boys, and I thought they can't still be calling themselves Hardy Boys, right? They're like
It,
Hardy elderly men now.
so we're going to talk about it about Edge joining Edge joining AEW. He's not Edge anymore. He's Adam Copeland. It's just you're making this so hard for us. We don't know these people by their government names or
Brother
without
Name.
how they originally came to into our lives. You want us to
At
evolve with
least
their lives.
at least he was able to keep his music and have rated R.
I
So I
was
mean,
so glad about that. That really was
when
the
the
main
music
thing
hit,
that
I
I
was
was
like,
worried
"Oh
about.
shit, man! It's the same music and everything." I was like, "Damn, how did WWE allow that?" But I guess they let
Right
the rated R whatchamacallit trademark lapse in like 2020. That's what I heard, and
now, that's
I guess
hilarious
the
with the
music.
rated R thing.
Yeah, and the song I guess it's not a WWE song. It was
Yeah,
done by another group. So I guess
right.
AEW
I
just has to
thought
pay for the rights to use it or something. So
Right. I honestly thought that was just written specifically for him. I would have, if you would have said that was a song they just wrote and put on the
right,
radio, I would have never thought of that.
yeah, yeah. So this match was okay. What do you think of this? What do you, I mean? I know you. The trios division has really kind of cooled down a lot. And I know you're
Eh,
disappointed that the House of Black didn't get a better little run at it. I understand why they keep putting the belts on the Acclaimed and Daddy because they're over. But at the same time, like they haven't had what I would call a good reign either time or this time. I guess they were tag team champions before. This is the first time they've been trios champions, right? Or is this the
Right.
second time they've been trios champions? I get it
Yeah.
confused because they were tag team champions, right? I know that
They're
for
attaching
sure,
champions. Yes.
obviously. And now they're trios, so they've been both. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't, it seems natural to keep it on them, but at the same time, the booking isn't great. Like I was super excited for the trios division, and it's definitely not been what I was hoping it would be.
So I think this is a classic. Well, the classic. I don't think it's ever happened. Someone's over, but you don't have a plan for them, and that is very detrimental to those wrestlers. Because, like, yes, they're definitely over, but you can't just sporadically give them the belt and not have a plan. And when I say plan, I'm not saying a year into the future. Give me 2 months into the future. Give me like let me at least set up a month of, okay, what what program are they going to get into? Who are they going to be facing? Like, at least start there, and then if it's still good after a month or two, then we'll come back to the discussion. This match was pretty good. I love Isaiah. I love him with the Hardys. I don't know how to. I don't know what he needs to do to be a more breakout star. Because is his partner coming back? Is he ever
He's been gone for a long time. I don't know.
right?
It must have been a very serious injury. I guess I'm not. I need to do a little research and try to find out how bad it is, but I don't know. Like I have no
Which
idea.
would suck.
Mark Quinn has been
'Cause
gone for a long time.
I loved Private Party. So, like, they are doing something to keep him on television. But
Yeah,
yeah, decent match. Decent for Rampage. But yeah, give the Acclaim a decent program to make this reign matter.
I would agree. Um, then it's worth pointing out Jay Lethal said, and then Eddie Kingston he interrupted Eddie Kingston backstage, giving a promo, basically said, "I want a shot at the ROH championship. You're not worthy of it, blah blah blah." Which I'm kind of here for. I think Eddie and Jay Lethal would be a very good feud for the ROH Championship. I'm a little worried about all of the people surrounding Jay Lethal, making it a big old
Mm.
mess and making it not. I don't like Jeff Jarrett, so seeing him on my TV bothers me. I don't necessarily mind Satnam Singh, other than I just don't know really what his purpose is, other than to stand there and look big. I do like
Right.
Sanjay Dutt a lot. I've always been a big Sanjay Dutt fan, so and I like Jay Lethal, and I'm here for Jay Lethal and Eddie Kingston if that's going to be his next feud for the Ring of Honor Championship. I just don't want those other guys to fuck it up. So I don't know.
I'm very surprised that this is his. I want to say Jay Lethal's been in AEW for 2 years now. That's what it feels like,
Yeah,
and this
yeah,
is the first time they're having him in properly in the ROH program. I feel like they should have done this way sooner. So I
yeah.
am all for that, especially for this being Eddie's first program as ROH champion, and it's going to be definitely entertaining with Team Slapnuts. I don't think because Jay Lethal loves ROH that much, he's gonna have more say in how much of Jeff Jarrett is going to be a part of this program. I think, in my mind.
Yeah. Then we had Eddie Kingston defeat Rocky Romero to retain his New Japan Strong Openweight Championship, which was a great match. I mean, Rocky always has good matches.
Hmm.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that loses on a regular basis, but is fun to watch still, and always has good matches, and you don't mind like watching him lose. He's like one of those guys that can take an L, but he's not a jobber because he has
Yeah,
really good matches. So like, and Eddie looked good in this. He should have got the win, and he did. So, uh, yeah, I enjoyed that. What
good,
about you?
yeah, very good standard match, like you said. Can't really go wrong with Romero. Yeah.
Then we had the Righteous in a squash match, which probably don't even really need to talk about, other than if you wanted to say something about the Righteous, which I don't necessarily. My only question is, where's Stu Grayson? That's my only question. Where's Stu Grayson?
Cause like I am not. I don't watch ROH because ain't nobody got $10 right now for that. But I do know that he joined the team. I do know it was them against Dark Order. I'm going to assume. Like, All right, come on now, AEW, because that he's a good one. He's a good one. I would
Yeah.
if we're all booking Danielson's retirement year. I think that would be one of the matches he would love to do. And I'm saying this in the way of like, because it is weird they just dropped him, and so it's like, is he officially part of AEW? Is it? Did he have a contract? This is very weird.
Yeah.
But like you
I'm not
said,
sure what's going on. It's very unclear. And I'm not
right?
totally sure, like, they didn't even make it totally clear when he was back for whatever that little brief period of time was, what was going on. Like, clearly he had an issue with the Dark Order. He made a comment about, oh, y'all kept wrestling while I was gone. So I don't know if that was his issue, but then he was like, all of a sudden he's not with the Dark Order. He's now with the Righteous, kind of, and for like 2 weeks, and then he was gone. So I'm not sure. The whole thing is weird. I don't,
Like,
it's almost like, they thought they wanted to do something with them and then couldn't figure out what to do. It's weird. I don't know.
so if I'm not mistaken, the story was righteous. They pulled him away from Dark Order, saying that they are holding you back. They did a great match last pay per view. I want to say the last ROH pay per view, just before this, the very last one. Cause I don't want to get it wrong. I want to say it was just before Dishonor. That 6-man tag was great. If you have any time, please go watch. Go out your way to watch it. I'm going to assume that they dropped him just for they can have a tag team match with MJF and supposedly Adam Cole. And so I'm going to assume that, even though it makes no sense, because you can still have them with him. You can still have Stu with Righteous while they go against MJF and was supposed to be Adam Cole, but I just as much as I love the Righteous is great, and I can't stand that they lost to MJF by himself. Whatever, but yeah, please, Stu Grayson is a priority. Make him a priority. Danielson, Danielson, this is your last year. So make a phone call to Tony. Come, I want to wrestle Stu Grayson.
I want to wrestle Stu Grayson. I wonder if that's a name on his list. I bet he's got a list of people. I'd love to
In the
see
words
that
of
list.
CM, he ran away from Stu. Danielson don't do that with everybody.
Then we had a little video that is kind of furthering the whole breakup of Santana and Ortiz. They had some audio with Conan discussing their issues.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm here for this. Like I said, I'm here for. I wish they were proud and powerful. I wish they had gotten the quality run, all those things. But if they're not, at least they're both on TV doing something. If this is the situation, and it should be fun. So
Definitely fun. Hopefully, like I said, this is like, get this fight out y'all system. We're gonna let it go on for 2 more months, and then y'all get it together after 2 months.
then we had the main event of that episode of Rampage, which was the women's fatal four way for, or I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. It was Sheeta versus Ruby Soho to be number one contender for the women's title, and Sheeta got the win over Ruby Soho. So Sheeta is the number one contender to the title for Soraya as of last Friday. What do you think of that?
Makes you question why they took the belt off Sheeta, except Willow was in her hometown, but whatever. Uh,
It's weird, right? The whole thing is weird. So she just had the belt 2 months ago. Now she's the number one contender again. It's like, what are we doing? Like,
what are we doing, man?
if you
This, I
like
guess,
Sheeta with the belt, then just leave the belt on her. If you wanted to put the belt on Willow, put the belt on Willow and leave it on her. Like, I don't. What are we doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, what the deal is? Like,
like, honestly, this is all father. I feel like it's all fogger until Mercedes come back and TK gets to have what's her name? Sriracha versus Mercedes Monet. So I really don't care unless they give me a reason to care.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even convinced that that's ever going to really happen like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not
Until
sure
like
that that's what I don't know that that's what Mercedes wants to do. Who knows? I don't know. I mean,
like
who
there
knows?
were talks that she was supposed to be at Wembley, and I want to say that was the match, right?
Sure.
And so, like I said, TK loves history to the maybe to a fault. of okay, so we'll bring this back because she's the one who hurt your neck. It's like you don't have everything doesn't have to be long term. Like everything doesn't have a connection to the past. You can have something bright and shiny and new.
So that was the end of Rampage from last Friday, which was the go home Rampage, I guess before Wrestle Dream, I suppose.
We'll
Technically, the
call
next
it that.
show, Collision on
Yeah.
Saturday, was the last technical show, but technically the last show before Wrestle Dream on Sunday.
Hmm.
Wrestle Dream is definitely a AEW pay per view, but it feels a little different than their regular pay per views do. And I'll talk about that in a little bit when we actually talk about Wrestle Dream. But for that collision, we had Andrade starting the show against Juice Robinson, and he defeated Juice by pinfall. This was a good match. I like both of these guys. I really enjoy Juice right now. I like him with Bullet Club Gold, and I mean I think his character is fun. Um, and I like Andrade. I'm not totally sure what they're doing with Andrade, but I don't know. I mean I enjoyed this match. Why I got the win. It feels like Juice should have gotten the win here, but just because Bullet Club Gold is kind of on a trajectory and Andrade's just kind of it feels like treading water for I don't know what. So it's weird for him to get the win here, but I guess it is what it is. What do you think?
So yeah, it's very weird because we knew what we thought we knew what Andrade was going to do. I want to say I guess it really matters with what is Roosh doing because they did all those vignettes of not 10 and old boy with the mask getting kidnapped in Mexico and doing this whole drag out fight, and they didn't follow up to that. So it has to be visa issues. It has to be some kind of visa issues because like you did this whole vignette, and it feels like we were getting to Andrade and Rouge and whoever the third person against House of Black, and now we're not doing anything. So we're kind of so you have Andrade floating in the air right now, which is very weird and not good.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I like
I
that,
almost forgot about that little vignette that they did, and it was
right?
so long. It feels like it was a long time ago now, but yeah, they must be having yeah. It's got to be travel issues or something. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So then there was a little Omega and Jericho and Tony Schiavone. They don't like each other, but they got to work together for Don Cal to beat up Don Callis to beat Team Callis. I guess the Callis family is what it's
The
the
Callis
right.
film.
But then we had the Kingdom versus Best Friends. The Kingdom defeated Best Friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what was a really good match. I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you, like so when Matt Taven won the Ring of Honor World title,
Yes.
Ring of Honor was kind of in a down place, and he didn't do it any favors. It's hard to explain why. You got to go back and just kind of watch some of it,
Okay.
and it was at the tail. It was kind of the tail end. So a lot of people and myself unjustly probably blame him a little bit for kind of some of the downfall of Ring of Honor and just
Okay.
I don't know. His title reign left a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Now that's probably not his fault. That's booking's fault. But the reality is that I've been more impressed with him in this run than I was before. So he's growing on me a little bit. I'm still gonna say fuck Matt Taven, but with a little less energy. So, but I thought he was I thought he was good here, um, and I thought he was good on the mic after this. And I do like his role with Roddy during this whole stuff with Adam Cole. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and I'm a huge Mike Bennett fan. I've always been a huge Mike Bennett fan. So, and I'm a huge Maria Kanellis fan. So I've always liked 2/3 of the Kingdom. Um, and Taven's gotten better. He's gotten better. So, yeah, I thought this was a really good match. Probably the match of this collision. But yeah, I enjoyed it. What about you?
I'm glad you explained that because I am like right now the kingdom is doing the Lord's work with Roddy Strong, right? And I didn't see ROH, and I put it in the chat of an earlier podcast. I'm like, so what is F Matt Taven? Because right now he is so stupid. I love the end of them. This was a great match. I love the end where they had the suitcases and he had the mic. Roddy, I'm gonna say Adam, you have to come to Roddy's house right now. He needs you. It's very important. Or go have surgery and be a toughest. I'm sorry. Just come to listen. You have Bennett falling down. I'm like, why are you falling down? Ain't nobody pushing you. So like, so like,
Uh, yeah.
totally
The
understandable. The whole ROH thing because like when you're in uncharted waters, you want to put the belt on their best guy. They might not have been the best guy, but right now they're in a great place.
Yeah. Then we had Julia defeat Bert Vixen, which was, another victory under her belt, which we'll talk about when we get to Wrestle Dream. I thought it was leading somewhere, but obviously we'll talk about that when we get to Wrestle Dream. Anything you want to say about Julia and Vert?
Great, great build up to Julia, right? Because I haven't seen her matches or they've been sporadically, right? So it's like before she goes against Statlander, who we all know, let her get some wins. So good move, good build up. At
Yeah.
21, she getting it straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. She's only 21 years old.
Like, right?
Wow. Wow.
She's
Wow.
only
Wow.
21.
Wow. It never ceases to amaze me how some people get a start on a big stage so early and others don't. What's up, Dolores? Like, some people, like, for an instance, like Eddie Kingston, has 15 years in the independents before he ever really gets any kind of break. And then you get someone like a John Cena or a Julia Hart or someone that, like, all of a sudden at 21, 22, 23, they're on the main stage. It's like,
Right.
what? It just, I don't, it's weird to me, like, how that happens. I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason for it, but
And more so, it's like all who you know. Like, thankfully
probably.
for Julia, AEW had existed, right? I don't think
Yeah.
if AEW was around when Eddie was top guy, and he wasn't, starting fights with everybody, he probably would have been on TV way sooner. But like yeah, her with the Varsity Blondes, and then her being with the House of Black just did wonders for her. It really is about hitting that
Yeah.
one curve on the way to success.
So then we get our first tag team match with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega working together as a team, and they beat up on the gates of agony. Again, I mean, with Jericho and Omega, whatever you think about Jericho personally, and he's definitely not the Jericho he was 10 years ago, 15 or 20 years ago, but he can still wrestle. I mean, he's still probably better than a lot of the guys in the locker room for all intents and purposes when it really boils down to it. Do I get tired of seeing him a lot on TV? I do. I think he steals. I think he's still too big a focus for AEW in general. Chris Jericho seems to have his hands in everything and is on TV all the time, which,
Yeah,
I don't know. He does get a little old and he can get a little annoying sometimes. I was never a Chris Jericho fan. The last few years, he started to kind of, as he's gotten a little bit older, but like I used to hate him, like avidly hate Chris Jericho. When he was in WWE with his little spigot and the never, ever that I fucking hated Chris Jericho. So,
yeah,
but now in AEW, he's a little bit different, and I've liked some of his recreations of himself. So, and I'm a big Omega fan. So with these two guys, you can't go wrong in a match. And I
yeah.
like the Gates of Agony. I think they're good for what they are. I don't know. This one was fun. I liked it. It's not a
Right.
surprise that Jericho and Omega got the win here. Obviously, I mean they
Yeah,
have to warm up for their future match. So.
yeah.
Let's see. Then we had the Righteous with the squash against Judas Icarus and Travis Williams. Yeah, I don't know. Not much to talk about there.
Great. Like it was great in theory until Wrestle Dream happened where it's like, yeah, give the opponent a win before the match, but yeah,
Yep. And then we had the main event, which was
I got you. So the main event was Ricky Starks and Big Bill were and AOT. Wait, who's AO?
Aussie Open
Oh, okay. Ricky
versus
Starks,
FTR.
Big Bill,
Yeah.
and Ozzy Open defeating FTR, Danielson, and Willa Yuta.
Yeah. Lots of really good wrestlers in the ring in this match. I mean, I don't, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it till the end of time. Even with tag teams sometimes, but especially when you get into 6 man, 8 man, 10 man, it just becomes there's too much in the ring. There's too much going on. It's too hard to really follow. Even usually most stuff is filmed by the hard camera, and the hard camera can only get so much stuff. And so you end up only seeing a portion of the match because so and so's over here, you don't get to see them at all, and so and so's over here, you don't get to see them at all. And then when they're in the ring, if they're all in the ring at the same time, there's too many people in the ring at the same time. So it's my same issue that I have with like a Royal Rumble when they just start with, 20 people in the ring or whatever. It's like that's way too many people. You know what I'm saying? Like we miss you too, Dolores.
You.
Uh, it's so. But that being said, with these guys, I'm a huge Ricky Starks fan. I'm a huge Aussie Open fan. I love Brian Danielson. I like Wheeler Yuta. I can take or leave Big Bill, FTR. They are what they are. I give them their credit for being, a great tag team, but I'm not the biggest FTR fan.
Mm.
So, again, this match is fun. I enjoyed it, but again, it's kind of a clusterfuck.
I totally agree with you because we were watching it and I'm like, the ending happened. I'm like, what happened? I
Yeah.
don't even know how it ended. I don't know how they got the win. And then and then it just the dust settled, and then to say what you call it, sweet Jesus, Cesar Jr. is on commentary, which was great. He's a
Mm.
someone said in the chat he's a Guy Ritchie villain. But yeah, after the match, I didn't even see the freaking ending. They all got into a fight. The dust settled, and then you have Danielson and Jr. in the same ring, which was another moment, and that was a great way to end the match, in the show.
Yeah, obviously to lead up to their Wrestle Dream match, which we'll talk about next, because Wrestle Dream was the next night on Sunday night. I'm not gonna do the kickoff show. I'm just gonna do the main card, just for time's sake.
Oh,
We had
so real
MJF.
quick,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm tired of Athena being on the kickoff show. She's doing the
yeah.
Lord's work. Give her a proper freaking match on the freaking main card,
I agree
please.
with that. I agree with that. She's the best thing. Well, other than Eddie Kingston right now in Ring of Honor, she's the second best thing in Ring of Honor, and she's been doing it longer, so it might be fair to say that she's the best champion in Ring of Honor at the moment. And she deserves a bigger stage than the kickoff show. And in another clusterfuck match where you're one of 8 people with a team of people that you really, I mean, I like the minion and training stuff with Billy
Yeah,
Starks, but like her other association with the other 2 people in the match, like it doesn't make any sense. It's the whole thing was weird. I don't get it. So
like
she
I,
deserves better.
yeah, like and it's her partner was Keith Lee. I think they paired together because Shane Taylor was over there on the other side, so that makes
Right.
a little bit more sense. And so
Yeah. I
justice
mean,
for her and Keith Lee.
yeah. Well, there's that. Originally, I thought it was supposed to be someone else, but I guess not. I guess maybe Keith Lee was the person from the beginning, but
Okay.
and Kojima, it is what it is. I don't know. The whole thing is kind of weird. I don't know, but yeah. But our first match on the main card was MJF defeating the Righteous by himself, essentially. You already expressed a little bit about how you felt about this.
Cause I
And yeah,
love
I
the
mean, I don't,
righteous. The righteous are like the righteous
yeah,
as a character. Even yeah, they're Bray Wyatt, but they're doing it well. They're committing to it. It's not like cosplay or a knockoff version, right? And so I would love to be credible threats in the future, but it's kind of hard. They still can be, but they're gonna have to do the Lord's word to come back after getting beat by one person. No offense, even if it's
Yeah,
MJF.
I mean, the saving grace is that it's MJF, I guess. Not only is he, at this moment the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion by himself, but he's the AEW World Champion. So I guess it's that same kind of there's nothing wrong with Ricky Starks taking a loss to Bryan Danielson kind of idea concept. But at the same time, like the righteous don't really have they're not quite as over as like a Ricky Stark. So I do think it does
Yeah,
harm them a little bit. Um, and they're perfect for Ring of Honor, and that's where they should stay, as far as I'm concerned. I like them on Ring of Honor. So, um, yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to win here, and I guess if you have to serve somebody up to MJF, I mean, the righteous is as good as anybody. I mean, I don't know.
I
Let's
guess.
see. Then we had Kingston and Shibata for Kingston's championships, of which I'm not totally sure. I guess because Eddie probably was like, I can't handle a third belt if I get the win. Like, I don't know why Shibata's belt wasn't on the line. I don't know if Eddie doesn't want to do pure wrestling, the pure rules wrestling or whatever. But like, for whatever reason, it was only Eddie's two belts on the line. But luckily, Eddie got the win, as he should have. He's just recently won the Ring of Honor World Championship, and he's only had the never open weight belt for a couple months now. So, and they've strapped a rocket to his back at the moment to a certain extent. So now's the time, which I'm super happy about. I mean,
Right.
to be fair, it's
Yeah.
only Ring of Honor. You will see if they actually do something on the main. Let's see if they're ever going to try out the world heavyweight title or the world championship. Against MJF or somebody. Then we'll. But at the same time, at the moment, he's got two belts, so I'm happy. I'm not going to complain. Um, but I like this. I mean, these two I thought these two had a perfect match for the two of them,
Hmm.
um, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. It was hard hitting. It was strong style. Shibata must have taken 5 or 6 back fists before the match was
Yeah.
actually over. I mean, yeah, I was like, holy shit, and just yeah, they beat the shit out of each other. So
Eddie is definitely in his element being the new Japan Strong Champion. That is perfect for him. He loves ROH. That'll be perfect as well. This really could have been just an exhibition match. No titles should have been on the line, but I guess someone was like, "No, let the title be." Like, all right, fine, whatever. But yeah, it could have been just an exhibition match. But yeah, Eddie is
yeah,
in his bag. Let him stay right here and just be happy. He's very happy.
100%. Lander, who got the win over Julia Hart. Again, we kind of talked about this. Julia Hart won for like, I don't know, 4 weeks in a row. She must have went 8-0 or 9-0 over the last 2 months or something, and then
Yeah.
all just to lose to Chris Statlander. I guess I'm not totally sure. I guess who knows.
So
I don't
like,
know what they're waiting to do here. What's going on? Chris Statlander's run hasn't been very impressive either. Um,
so again, story. I you're okay. I get it. You're AEW, right? Matches are more important than story. But you've already did this somewhat with Jade, where it was just a run of I'm gonna beat everybody with no clear reason of why we're competing, right? So it is a little bit different because Stat Leonard's better in the ring because she has years of practice, and so it makes it a little bit better. But yeah, give us a program, give us a reason why, another reason why she's facing other people, right?
yeah, yeah, and I
Eh,
don't. I mean, I understand you want to have viable contenders, but it's weird to have somebody win what felt like a lot of matches in a row and then just lose the title match. I don't know, it seemed like it felt like they were gearing up for Julia Hart to win there and then they didn't. That It was weird, so I don't know. I don't
So
have a problem with it because
yeah,
I'm not a big Julia Hart fan. I like Chris Statlander better. I think she's a better representative for that title, but it felt like they were gearing up for Julia Hart to win, so I don't know.
so like she's great. I'm not even gonna call her green in the ring because she is very great in the ring. Um, I think it works because they told us she was undefeated, right? We didn't really see it. Like I said,
Yeah,
unless I only saw the last 4 matches of her being built up to Statlander, right? So I think it's longer than that she's been winning, but it's one of the things where it's like, oh hey, she hasn't got beaten. We'll use that to promote the match. So that works in that instance. Where like I don't think they're really like saying she should be ready to win a belt, but it's great to have it to promote a match. It makes it easier anyway.
Sure. Yeah. And I guess at 21 now. I mean, she's basically a homegrown star, right? I mean, she's only been in
Definitely.
AEW, and so yeah, I mean, one of their future bright spots in the women's division. So a shot here for this belt, a loss doesn't really destroy her. I'm sure she might even have another shot down the road here at Chris Statlander again or something. And when she wins
Yeah.
the belt in a couple years, it'll make sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows? Uh, then we had, which I thought was kind of a weird match with the outcome. We had the Young Bucks getting the win over the Guns, the Lucha Bros, and Hook and Orange Cassidy to be the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championship or champions. I only say it's weird just because the Bucks have already done it before. So at the same time, like if you're the best, if you're one of the top five best tag teams on the planet currently, you should be winning matches and should be competing for the title all the time, I suppose, right? I mean, that's the idea. So, I mean, the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros are definitely the two best tag teams in this this 4 team situation here. I'm not totally
Mhm.
sure what the Hook and Orange Cassidy deal is. It felt like they put the belt on Orange Cassidy. He won a whole bunch of matches, and they took the belt off him, and now they have no idea what they're doing with him. Hook, they haven't had any idea what they're doing with Hook forever. It feels like they might have had an idea in the beginning, like when he was with his dad and Team Taz. Like it felt like okay, at
Yeah.
least he's got some people around him that can give him some guidance and things. Appears periodically and does the same thing and then leaves. Um, and I mean, I haven't seen what I would call a whole lot of progression either on the mic or in the ring from him. He looks basically like he did when he first came out, in my opinion. Um, and the guns are good with Bullet Club Gold, so I don't know. I'm not mad with the Young Bucks here, and I'm not mad with seeing the Bucks and FTR
Oh, I think you're stuck. But I think the thing was you're not the only one. Just not the only one, especially on predictions. I think only Dolores said Young Bucks. And for me, I just thought it was too soon. After All In, we kind of suspected that the robbery was going to continue, but just not this soon, I guess. And for OC and Hook, Lord have mercy, I don't. Again, having a plan after a pay per view definitely it helps, right? It helps. Like you said, he had this great international title reign, and now him with Hook isn't hitting how I think they thought it was going to hit. It just feels weird to me, right? And if it's OC versus Hook for the FTW championship, I really don't care for that idea either because yeah, I why?
Okay, well, now there's two of me. Uh,
Oh, the reverse
working.
Oreo.
I'm not totally sure how to get rid of the other one. I know, okay, I know how to get them off the screen, but I don't know.
There,
All right
you
then.
did. You did. You're good. You're good.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'm having technical issues tonight. It appears. So let's see.
We're rocking and rolling.
We were at the Young Bucks. Yeah. So I didn't hear what you said, but
Yeah, so I was saying like Hook and OC feels weird to me, right? Like in that it feels like they're gonna lead to them facing each other for the FTW championship. In that instance, who wins? Because who's getting elevated, right? And right now they both need to be elevated, which is very weird. I thought it was gonna be the Guns just because that was it has the story of running it back, right? But now the Guns are in a better place where it will be a where it will they'll be more receptive as healed and not like wow are we putting us through this.
well, yeah, and it would give Bullet Club Gold some gold. Um,
If they win,
and
yeah.
yeah, if they won in theory, I mean, I could see them winning. I mean, I think belts would give more validity to Bullet Club Gold as a faction.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so yeah. Then we had one of my favorite wins of the night, Swerve Strickland getting the win over Hangman Page.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with Hangman Page at all. I just thought Swerve deserved to get this win here,
Mm-hmm.
and he did. So I was happy about that. I thought it was a really good match. I think these two have really good chemistry. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the match went really well. I mean, Swerve, I'm not going to say doesn't have bad matches because I've definitely seen a couple that haven't been as good as others, but like he's putting in really good work right now. It's been a while since he's had what I would call a bad match, and he's looked really well. He's looked really strong for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely a C at worst, as of through my eyes. Um, Loved that he won. It's always that inkling of, are they going to pull the trigger? They pull the trigger, great. Honestly, if if the ending of Wrestle Dream wasn't the ending, I would have pitched for this to be the main event
yeah,
because it felt that important
yeah,
and it was good. Definitely very
yeah,
good.
yeah. I agree. I enjoyed it a lot. Ricky Starks got the win over Wheeler Yuta in a
Mhm.
good match for him. I mean, it feels like Ricky Starks should be beating Wheeler Yuta. But
Yes.
we've talked about this before. I think they're on a little bit different level. I think Ricky's a little bit higher on the, you know, level than Wheeler Yuta is, so he should be beating him,
Hmm.
especially after taking Danielson to his limit
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
So this feels right. I, you know, I don't think it really hurts Yuta again. I mean, because he looked good. I thought the match was good. And again, Yuta still is a little green and has some more time to learn still. So
Mhm.
I didn't have any problem with this. I thought this was the right decision in the right way.
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
not. I love the spot where Ricky was trying to do the elbows and you was like, really, bruh?
yeah,
I get
yeah, and
elbowed
then
by
switch it up.
Moxley and Danielson. You really think your little bony little elbows will do anything to me right now?
Yeah, there
I
was
love
definitely
that.
some interesting spots in it. Yeah, I like that one, and then he switched it up, and then he did the elbows to Ricky, and you could definitely see the difference. Like you can tell
Yeah.
the difference, Um, but that's probably they probably planned that spot in the back. I'm sure Ricky could do them better. They probably talked about him doing them like that so that Wheeler could do them, whatever, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I thought both these guys came out looking good in this, and they talk about um, Jack Barry, MJF, Darby Allen, and geez, I'm drawing a blank on the fourth pillar's name. Who am I missing on my
And
list there?
Timmy
Uh,
Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, being the four pillars, but they've got a lot of other guys that could definitely take up that mantle, and Wheeler Yuta and Ricky Starks are two of those guys that, you know what I mean. Especially if Jack
Yeah.
Barry, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's suffered a little bit, I think, with the heel turn, which I wanted. I was here for the heel turn. I just think it didn't go well.
Right.
And then all that other stuff so far with CM Punk, and we'll see what happens there. Um,
Hmm.
Darby's great. MJF is doing his thing. MJF is proving, he can not carry the company because the company's not, doesn't need to be carried, but he's doing a
Right.
good job with the belt. You know what I mean? So, but there's a lot of young guys that are really strong, and these are two of them for sure. So the future is bright for AEW.
It is.
Then we had, which was a very fun match, Brian Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. My little technical wrestling heart was full of joy. I'm a huge I'm a huge technical wrestling fan. I really like, when there's a lot of uh, counters and a lot of highly skilled technical wrestling, and that's definitely what this was. I, you know, it could have gone either way for me. I think they're probably 1 and 1A as far as best technical wrestlers in the planet right now. I'd love to
Yeah.
see it a second time at this point. I'm glad Danielson got the win, and it was everything I wanted it to be for sure.
I said this on our I said this in the chat. I think if you want to get people interested in technical wrestling, this is probably the first match you should show them. I love this, and like I am a high flying. I'm more of a high flying, hard hitting kind of girl, but this was thoroughly. I thoroughly enjoyed this, right? And I love the ending where Danielson had to do a knee strike, and it was named Nigel on the commentary. It's like he had to do a strike. So Zack
Right,
Sabre
yeah.
Jr. is still
As
the
opposed to a
pinnacle
wrestling
wrestler in the
move.
world.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, and there is some of that still, and I'm sure Zach's going to say something about that. And my guess is, I mean, maybe not because this is his last run. Maybe we won't get a rematch, but I would definitely be here for it.
Oh
I
no,
wouldn't
they're
mind seeing that. Maybe Wrestle Kingdom. That'd be fun.
they're
Something.
definitely running it back. It really is a matter of when and where, and I think Wrestle Kingdom is a great bet.
Then we had the Callis family, who got the win this time over Jericho and the Golden Levers. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't, again, you've got too many guys in the ring. I it's not quite as bad because there's only six, but I mean, you've got six of perhaps the greatest wrestlers in the world at the moment. I mean, minus. I mean, Sammy Guevara can really go in the ring. Whatever you think about him, he can really wrestle.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's in that top echelon, but Jericho, Omega, Ibushi, Takeshita, Osprey. I mean, you can't have a bad match with those guys, right? And Will doesn't have bad matches. I thought him and Kenny stuff was great. Every time Will was in the ring, it was great. Um, and Takeshita, this was the right spot for Don for the Callis family to get the win. I thought
yeah.
this worked out well, and I liked it. For story purposes, I liked it. Um, and I didn't necessarily. I'm not. I don't want to see Jericho and Omega together. So, the more losses they take, the more division hopefully there is. So, hopefully they don't. We don't see them too much together after this. So,
Like, okay, so couple of things that I think they need to reheat the Omega Don thing, right? The feud. It's good. It hasn't like it's not doing this, but it's like we
right,
need it to go upwards.
sure,
For
it's plateaued a
me,
little bit.
yeah, for me, inserting Jericho and Sammy into this feels like you're trying to put a square peg in an octagon hole. Where it's like it looks similar, it should fit, but it just doesn't. It's not worth it. Like, and this was a decent match. There was nothing wrong with the match. But I think if you're an Omega fan, you're kind of tired of him being in these multi-mid matches. Right? It's
I
like
agree.
you're great by yourself, bruh. I don't know why you're putting us through all of these changes, and then you have Osprey in here, and it really didn't feel like people knew. Like hold up, time out, Osprey's in this joint. Why are we? Why is Sammy getting most of this time? Like, I think that was more. I think that was another frustrating thing. Like no,
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. And I was really surprised that Sammy, got as much shine as he did.
hmm
And the fact that he got the pin for the win, honestly, in the match. I mean, out of all the guys that would get the pin, although I think the real story here, and I think this match, I guess, was just kind of a catalyst for it, is the Jericho Guevara story, right? I mean, that's why Sammy gets the pin here on Jericho, right? I guess that's the ultimate, but it seems like
yeah,
the waste of a lot of talent for just those two guys to push their story.
exactly,
Like we're talking about
exactly,
Omega and Osprey and Takeshita, all there just to push Jericho and Sammy Guevara's story. Like that seems kind of like what, but yeah. Again, like you said, fun match, but I'm not totally sure what we're doing, and I don't know.
right.
Then we had FTR defeat Aussie Open, which I was disappointed in. I really thought this was where Aussie Open would win. Um, FTR has had the belts for a while now. It feels like even longer than they have had them. Um, and I don't know, like I don't dislike FTR. They're just not very exciting. I'm just ready for something different.
I feel as though the tag team division, and maybe I'm just not looking around hard enough. I was like, where is everybody? Is everybody in trios? And if that's the case, then y'all need to have one of them suckers be a manager and bring them back to the tag division because it's not as exciting as it was.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, they have not done Aussie Open any justice while they were signed. It's like they said it earlier on Trill Hill Heat. It's like if you're gonna have this match, don't let them get beat by Sammy and Jericho, and those two are broke up. That doesn't make any sense. So in this match, even though it was a good match, no one thought they were going. Well, the hope of them winning was there, but I think in everyone's heart, everyone knew that FTR was winning. So there wasn't really any excitement on this match because you kind of knew the outcome. You kind of knew
Yeah.
the outcome. It would have been a nice surprise if they would have won, but we knew they weren't going to win. So
Yeah, it feels like the tag team division was really hot, and then they started the trios division, but there's only so many guys, and a lot of the tag teams ended up as trios, and the trios division hasn't really hit like it's supposed to, and now both are kind of not looking great, neither the trios division or the tag team division. But yeah, I mean,
definitely.
one of the best things about AEW in the beginning was the tag team division.
Oh no, that was the top. Yeah, that was the top three reasons why you should go to watch AEW.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I said, can y'all just yeah
yeah.
everybody on
I,
trios. Some do a free bird rule and have them go come at the tag team division.
right. Then we had the main event of Wrestle Dream. What'd you think about this match being the main event?
So let me put myself back on. I one moment here. 'Cause I'm trying to get comfortable. That's what I'm doing. There we go, a little better. Like I said, once we heard, I think once everyone heard it's going to be the main event, everyone had in their mind what the ending was going to be, right? So it's like, oh, okay. So we already knew what the ending was, so that made it okay. Um, it's in Darby's hometown. That was another reason why it was a plus for it to be the main event. I I'm I actually love that we're in the space of time where Christian Cage is main eventing a pay per view. It's like, yes, why not? Why not? Because he is doing the Lord's work as this horrible douchebag of a heel. Um, Decent match with everything that went on in the match. It earned its right to be the main event. Like they did what they had to do to for this to be the closing match, right? And that even with spoiler alert, the Red Archer would start coming back. Even without that, like the spot where Christian freaking body slam Darby into the freaking stairs. Like that was
Oh yeah,
and then
like
and
three
then you did a
times in a
frog
row.
splash.
Yeah, he like dropped him on the. Oh man,
Like,
yeah,
bruh, do you feel your back anymore, bruh? Like honestly,
right.
it's just do you have any more nerve in your back?
Yeah,
And then
I don't know how Darby's gonna be walking in 10 years. I just don't.
the stretcher spot, like and then the heel turn of Nick Wayne. It's like what the frick? This dude hitting your mama. Are you serious? Now, granted, I do know why you did it, and you are justified. You almost died at your house, and then and Darby was like, "Oh, we'll forgive you." Like, no,
We'll
no,
forgive you.
no. Did you not see my face? I was unalive. I'm pretty sure I was unalive for 3 seconds. No. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So go ahead.
it definitely did enough to be the main event. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that by the time it was all over, I was like, this makes sense why it's the main event. It wasn't.
Yes.
I guess it should have readily clicked in my head when they announced this is the main event that you know Edge was coming, but it didn't. So honestly, I was a little. I wasn't. I was kind of surprised when it happened. It did catch me off guard. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna lie. I'm not sure I care for the Nick Wayne turn. I mean, I guess I get it, but me personally, and to be fair, I've really only seen him as a babyface in GCW. But I like him a lot as a babyface. That feels like where his sweet spot is. He doesn't. I mean, I'll have to see. The jury's still out on him being a heel. We'll see. But it feels
Mm-hmm.
like it's too early for him. They didn't really let him get his feet underneath him as a babyface enough before they turned him
Yeah.
heel. Um, and I don't know. Like, it feels weird to me for someone who disrespects your mom and your dad and all that stuff, as bad as Christian Cage did for you, all of a sudden to side with them and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna let him be my mentor." Like, that doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Not in any reality does that make any sense to me. So I find that a little hard to swallow. At the same time, you couldn't put Nick Wayne under a better mentor probably than Christian Cage. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I'm here for that. I think that's great. I'm extremely here for Edge and Christian. Um, I don't know what it's all going to work out to be, and the fact that Edge came out and said, I plan to be here for 5, 10, 15 years. It was like, what? You're like 50
Like,
years. Like, relax.
bruh.
But
All your dream matches can be done within 3 years. They really can't. We don't have to
at the
extend this any longer than it needs to be.
and I'm not like I'm a huge Edge and Christian fan, and I'm a
Yeah.
huge Christian fan. I'm not a huge Edge solo fan. Like, I just not. I was never the biggest Edge solo fan. I'm here for them to do Edge and Christian again as a tag team to run that back. I'm here to see Christian beat up Edge. I'm here for that. Um, and I wouldn't mind seeing Edge in some of the dream matches he announced. When he was, rattling off names, I was very happy with some of the names he was announcing. I was like, oh yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting. Some of the names he announced were guys that were in WWE. Like, the first name he announced was John Moxley. Like, didn't you wrestle him as Dean Ambrose? And if you didn't, you could have. Didn't you wrestle Miro? And if you didn't, you could have as Rusev. Like, so a couple of those names I thought were a little like, okay, but at the same time,
It's
I
well,
guess maybe Edge wasn't around when those guys. Was that when Edge was out? I don't know.
like
Like,
so he came back 2020, right?
yeah,
Miro was there because they did his Done Behind Lana. He was there because they did Done Behind Lana and what's his name? Bobby Lashley bit. So,
right.
but I think it really was about booking, right? When Edge was on with WWE, they made him feud with Brandy for a long fucking time, and after
Oh
that,
yeah,
they did a move. They did a scene. We call it a scene. Yeah, ending where he was out, so he probably missed that time.
yeah, yes,
That
he
scares,
did.
yeah. But yeah, so when he was out, he probably missed that time when Mira was hot. Dean Ambrose, I
Yeah,
want to say Dean Ambrose was not there.
might
Dean
not be.
Ambrose was definitely left before the pandemic, so that was definitely not a thing he could have done. And so those
I guess
two,
I forget
so
how long Edge was actually out for, and who was there during that time. So I guess the Shield must have been all during Edge's time out. What year did Edge actually
mhm.
leave or retire of the first time?
So the first time he retired was 2011
Okay.
with his whole neck thing, and he came
Yeah, yeah.
back 2020.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I guess but it struck me as odd. I mean, you're right. Maybe timing wise, he couldn't have wrestled Dean Ambrose or Rusev, but it just seemed weird that those were two names. And maybe it's because those were two guys that he watching WWE and thought, "Fuck, I'd really like to wrestle those guys," and wasn't able to because of his neck issues at the time or whatever was going on. So,
right.
but yeah, I mean, Brian Danielson, Kenny Omega, Takeshita. I mean, I I'm not necessarily the biggest Edge fan, but I'm kind of excited to see him get a second breath of wrestling life, I guess, in a new company with new guys.
A
I mean,
second shot to do it right?
yeah,
Because the ending of his WE run was basically Judgment Day and
yes,
AJ Styles, and it was like, and you did some match with your wife, which was actually pretty good. This I wish they would have done Beth Phoenix versus Riga 1-on-1 was fine, but like it really wasn't everything he wanted it to be, right? Because again,
sure.
you have these long behind feuds with the same person, and
Yeah,
like so over here, everything didn't have to be. I'll say this: Everything does not have to be a program. You can just have them actually have dream matches and let it be just that, right? It's like him versus Miro. That should just be an exhibition match. That shouldn't be a storyline. Just let him one and done, one collision or Dynamite special, and that'll be good. Him versus Dean Ambrose. I mean, sorry, Moxley. Let's be very
Right.
respectful. That could be a story because when we did reactions for Wrestle Dream, I'm like, oh snap, him and Danielson really didn't do anything 1-on-1 before WrestleMania. So him versus BC, so that I was happy for that. I would love
Yeah.
for that to be a good storyline. But yeah,
Yeah.
most of these matches could be exhibition matches. I would say him and BCC should have a storyline, and him and FTR, and definitely him and Christian. Those would be probably the top three that should be a program, an actual story.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm interested to see what happens, and so far I like the stuff with Edge and Christian that's going on so far. So that was the main
Yeah.
event of Wrestle Dream, and that brings us to last night's Dynamite. And Nika's yawning because it is 11:30 over there on her coast. So we'll try to run through this fairly quick.
No, I'm
Um,
good. I should have brought some soda up here. I'm in my room. That's probably good. Or
so Dynamite from last night. So kind of the fallout, I guess, from Wrestle Dream,
the
and
fourth anniversary. Gotta put
yes,
that
the
out there.
4-year anniversary, and warming up to what is it? Full Gear that's coming up in October, November. Full Gear
Either
is the next big one.
October or November.
Yeah. So before we actually just on the show in general, when they announced it was the 4th anniversary of Dynamite, I was like, really? Because I felt like they didn't really like hype it up a lot. And by the time the show was over,
You
I thought this was a little underwhelming for the show. Like I thought the
okay?
I thought the back half hour, 45 minutes was good, but the first half, like the first hour and 20 minutes or so, was really slow, and I don't know.
No, no. I'm glad it wasn't just me. If you're going to announce it as an anniversary, and no offense, it's the fourth one, right? So after next year, cool it off until you get to 10, right? But you announce it as an anniversary. I'm not expecting firecrackers, but I am expecting some three things that got me like really emotionally invested or emotionally like, wow, okay, cool, we are at 4 years. And so for you to say again, anniversary, like, all right, it was all right. But yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
after next year, which is the fifth one, cool it till 10. You don't have to announce it as their anniversary episode.
I agree. Um, when you announce it like that, you expect something big, and we didn't really get that. So
Yeah.
we got Ray Phoenix defending against Matt Jackson. He retained his AEW International Championship. You know, a good match. Nick Jackson's. Everybody says Nick Jackson's the better of the Jackson brothers. I don't know whether I agree or disagree with that. I think they're both good in their own right. I don't have a problem with Matt Jackson, other than we agree he has a very punchable face. Um, but I don't
And
have a
his
problem.
gun. He
I don't have
can't.
a problem. But I have a problem with him as a wrestler. I mean, I guess Nick is a little bit more athletic, um, but
Yeah.
I think they together they're just
Hmm.
they're perfect. So I mean, I don't know. And I thought this was a good match. I like both Nick and Ray Phoenix as singles wrestlers as well. So I thought this was a good match, and I was happy Ray Phoenix won. I don't know. I think he's actually really injured, so I don't know like what the actual state of the international championship is going to be. But yeah, I don't know.
So we all like to go back in time with Moxley versus Ray. They said that he actually hurt himself as well during the dive, but it was a more back issue than head issue. That's why weren't nobody paying attention to it. Um, Speaking of the anniversary show, this is probably the only match that was like genuinely like, okay, yeah, because the first one was a banger, let's run it back, and this one did it the first one justice. Where it was a great match. Love that it wasn't super high flying. It actually had a story of, like you said, Ray hurt his Ray Phoenix. It sounds kind of thinking Ram, thinking Ray Mysterio. Ray hurt his back, right? So Nick was attacking that, but then Nick hit his foot on the ring post, so Ray Phoenix was attacking that. So I love that little thing about the match, and definitely a great notch in Ray Phoenix's international championship belt reign. Not his belt, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed him having the belt so far. And
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't really injured, and that he could defend it the right way. We'll see if he ends up losing the belt because of his injury, or if he has to give it up, or if he can fight through it. But even fighting through it, he's not 100% Phoenix. So, you know, um, it's a little
And this wasn't
disappointing,
the
but at the same
plan.
time, it's great. I mean, nonetheless.
Right. No. Like, so next week we're doing Moxley versus Ray, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
it really wasn't the plan for Ray to win the belt.
Yeah.
So I think we all think Moxley's gonna
Moxley's
get
gonna win
back.
the belt next week. Yeah.
I could
Uh,
have waited another week or so, right? But
right.
for Rain, it didn't suck. It was a good hit and quit it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hot potato a belt and give someone a short little month run, this was fun, or whatever. So,
Definitely.
um, before we move on to the next thing, I didn't put up a little banner for it because I forgot, but we had Adam Cole checking on his friend Roderick Strong,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who presents Cole with his own set of wheels, and the two of them have a little bit of fun, much to the annoyance of the Kingdom.
Yes.
So,
And Nat
more,
Taven stroking
more,
a stuffed giraffe like a crackhead. Like you're
more,
rubbing this.
more Adam Cole and Roderick Strong gold. This is great. All of it's great all the way around. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm here for all of it. Then we had
Oh
the
wait,
return. Go ahead.
did you watch it on Fight TV or TBS?
Fight TV. No, I watched it on TBS.
And so I was like, so when the sound was met, the
Oh
sound wasn't
yeah,
there. I'm like, I like, so who do I blame because I can't hear this? And I'm like, y'all realize you can't hear this, and they did, and they run it back. I'm like, oh, come
yeah. That's
on
right. I
now.
forgot they did have the audio issues with the vignette. That's right, and the arena's sound system, I guess. So,
I'm
um,
very glad they ran it back, but it really is like,
yeah.
come on,
Yep, and I'm looking here at WrestleView says audio issues aside, enjoyed that segment with Cole Strong in the Kingdom. So, and I can
right?
agree with that. I mean, when I walked by the end of the time that it was over, it was like I had forgotten that had even really happened. Like that definitely it didn't overshadow it or ruin it or any of that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
then we had the return of the War Dog. Wardlow is back, much to the chagrin of Griff Garrison, who took about 8 power bombs and got the shit kicked out of him. Poor Griff. Um, and then Wardlow just walked away through the crowd. So I don't totally know what's going on here. He looks like Wardlow. He's got short hair still,
Yeah.
and I guess he's back. I don't know.
Glad he's back, but girl, we got work to do. Bring him back to where he was, right? Great start. Gratefully, thankfully, the fans were still into him. They're still saying Wardlow. Um,
Yeah,
don't really know what we're gonna. Like, y'all need a plan for him. Y'all can't just fly by the seat of your pants with Wardlow. You need to have a plan of what he's going to do next to put him back where he was. Now, we all are talking about the meat division, right?
hmm
Brought to you by Arby's. You have TK make that an official thing. Make that an official, unofficial thing, but make that a thing, and that would, for me, I think that would help with Wardlow.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I mean, I I don't dislike Wardlow per se. I think he
yeah,
needs a lot of work. He needs more work on the mic. He needs more moves in the ring. I mean, I can see some potential there. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a long way to go, and they got to heat him up again. I mean, he was best when he was MJF's henchman, right? So Um, yeah,
And then more so that dumb behind speech of I don't want to go for the heavyweight title. I'm go get like that really was like that really was stupid. That
it was
really was
stupid.
dumb.
It was. Then we got footage backstage from Renee talking to Don Callis, where he announces Sammy can't compete, so he gets Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if Kyle Fletcher's going to actually, or Aussie Open is going to end up being part of the Callis family long term, or what the deal is. But he got Kyle Fletcher, and we'll see him later tonight with the Callis family.
So
Uh,
unfortunately, Cal's partner, what's his name on the Open?
yeah, Mark Davis.
He got hurt during
He
Wrestle
did.
Dream, right? And it sounds like he's gonna be out for a minute.
It
So
does.
to keep Cal Fletcher's momentum up, I didn't mind this at all. It makes sense because Will Ospreay's in the group, but at the end of the match, it didn't feel like they added him, which is stupid. And but yeah, it makes sense, right? I would have
It
loved if
does.
they would have. Yeah,
It does, and I like Kyle Fletcher. Mark Davis was hurt before too, and Kyle
right.
Fletcher had a short little like 2 months without him where he had like 5 or 6 matches and looked really good, and then Mark Davis came back and they had a couple matches and now Mark Davis is hurt again. So I
Yeah.
mean, I really like Aussie Open, but I do like Kyle Fletcher a lot as a singles wrestler. I like him as a heel. I think Aussie Open are good heels. I think he's kind of a natural heel, and I
Hmm.
like him with Don Callis. I think it provides more um, validity to Don Callis's family.
Yeah.
He's slowly getting a really nice. I mean, if indeed Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are really going to be part of the Callis family, it's like, damn, that's I mean, you got Ospreay, you got Fletcher, you got Takeshita, you got Guevara. It's like, wow, that's a nasty little stable. So like, if that's I'm here for that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know how much time Will Ospreay is going to actually spend in
Right.
AEW, but
Yeah.
we'll
Which is
see.
very weird. That's still up in the air.
Yeah. Then we had the acclaimed in a trios championship match against Kip Sabian, the Butcher and the Blade. Glad to see the Butcher and the Blade back. I'm so on Kip Sabian. I don't care for him one way or the other. And again, this is the acclaimed getting a win with the trios title, which is great, but it feels like an underwhelming trio to get the win over. Like
It feels like they're
Butcher
trying
and
to
Blade haven't
find
been
three
around for a
people.
long time, and these guys haven't been wrestling as a trio for a while. It feels like so.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to find three people for the acclaim to face every week, which is not
Yeah,
a good way to do a title reign. Like,
yeah,
hopefully, we're going to talk about it later with MJF. That gives more the acclaim something more prominent to do, which I'm here for. But yeah,
yeah.
you
No,
gotta
I
do
agree with
something.
that. That's
Yeah,
not the right way to do it, and it does feel that way. Um, let's see. Tony Storm, Portrait of a Star. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm all here for this Tony Storm. I think she's great. I think this is probably the best Tony Storm she's ever been. Definitely for me, the most I've enjoyed her. So I'm here for it. And I really want her to beat Saraya for the title. I want her to be heavyweight champion again, and
yeah,
continue this Tony Storm.
yes, please.
Let's see. We get the bullet. What do we got? I'm just trying to see here. We got Jericho and Omega versus Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Um, yeah.
Good, good match. The beginning of the show, you
Yes.
had it was a promo with Kenny and Jericho, and they're like, "Wow, the beginning of it is an anniversary episode. Like, wow, the beginning of this, we're at odds now. We're tag team is crazy." And then you had Edge come inside and he was shaking hands,
Oh,
which was
that's right.
cool.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, and so
that's
and then
correct.
so on paper for a anniversary show, this makes sense to have this match. But again,
Yeah.
it's like I need TK to realize we don't care about Jericho like this. We just don't. We just don't.
Yes.
Um, decent match. Love Cal Fletcher. It makes sense that Chris Jericho and Omega won because it wasn't Sammy, even though in my mind, Cal Fletcher's an upgrade, but whatever. And so, but it does story wise, it makes sense too. But they did win. Kenny and Jericho won.
Yep.
Don got mad. The kid screwed me, and so he goes into the ring, kind of a face off, and then Hobbs comes out and starts beating up Kenny. Kind of surprised. We'll see how it goes. Uh, I'm gonna say till the wheels fall off. I want Kenny. I want Warlow. Sorry, so many people. I want Ricky Starks and Hobbs to be back together. It makes sense. We're both pissed off that we're not where we're supposed to be after Team Taz. Let's get them together and just do business, right? But
Yeah.
this definitely makes more sense than Hobbs being with QTV. So I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
totally mad at it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, before this, I thought, okay, well, Mark Davis is out. Kyle Fletcher's going to be part of the Callis family. Then this whole thing happened, and it seems like Callis is. It's not going to be Fletcher. It's going to be Hobbs now. And so, which is kind of weird. I mean, I guess I'm here for it. Hobbs needs it probably more than Fletcher as far as a mentor and guidance and a faction around him. At the same
Yeah, I
time,
guess.
I thought Fletcher felt really right for this for the Don Callis family. So I don't know. It feels like they're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall here just to kind of see what sticks.
Yeah,
But I'm not opposed to Hobbs. I mean, when he came out and attacked here, I was like, okay, I guess it is what it is. I mean,
right?
um, yeah. I mean, I don't, I do need them to. It does feel like the Callus Omega stuff is kind of plateaued a little bit, so they need to like you were saying before, kind of ramp that back up a little bit. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. Omega and Jericho got the win here, and I guess it is what it is. I mean, I think we're ultimately working towards some sort of anarchy in the arena, stadium stampede, war games where it's the Callis family versus Kenny Omega, Jericho, and three other people of there, Ibushi and two other people or whatever. So
yeah,
I feel like that's where we're probably heading, probably for Full Gear in some way, shape, or form.
yeah.
And I guess we'll see what that looks like as we get closer and kind of iron out some of the wrinkles. But I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to it on its face to Hobbs and like I said, I like the Callis family. So, yeah. Let's see. Go ahead.
No, no,
Were you
like
gonna say something?
again, not opposed
Oh,
to it. We'll see what happens.
yeah. Let's see. Then we had Tony Storm. I mean, we had some other stuff happen, kind of behind the scenes, backstage stuff. A video package from Samoa Joe addressing the hunger to be champ and his satisfaction as he is one, but he's still focused. Um, okay. Um,
I
I love Joe,
I
so
know
I,
they have given Joe a lot, right?
they have,
I
they have.
want I want more though. I want more
I want more.
because Joe's
Yeah,
that dude.
yeah. I
Joe's
mean,
that dude.
yeah, he is, and not only is he that dude, but like, and I get like he's done a lot, and Ring of Honor is, he's done a lot in Ring of Honor recently, but he should be doing it on AEW, right? Like he should be doing it on the
Yes.
main, on Dynamite, and on Collision more than on Ring of Honor. That just feels, I don't know, but as long as Joe's happy, I guess it is what it is. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I want more for Joe ultimately too. What else happened backstage? Anything else? Let's see here. Renee talked to MJF about the situation with Adam Cole. There's a
No, no,
well,
no. So I think we skipped it. It was an in-ring segment. Bullet Club Gold came out,
yes, they did. You're
and
right. Yep,
they're addressing the whole ending of last week where
correct,
Jay White got beat up by 4 or 5 people in black and one dude with a double mask. They
correct.
accused MJF. And they're like, "You
Yep.
coward!" And it's like like you're so dumb. It's like you're in the ring with the best in the world, and all you came up with is tofu, which I don't disagree with, right? MJF comes out, he was like, bruh, I'm not ashamed of what I've done. I, if I did it, I will straight up own it, right?" And then you can clearly see the MJF loves wrestling because he did a dual chant of what was a dual chant? It was something taint, something else, right? And I'm like, oh, you got that from The Rock when Rock came back to SmackDown. You definitely got that from The Rock, right?
Right.
And so, but as a baby face, he was like, you know what? If y'all want to fight, let's go in the ring and do this. And then Jay White comes
Yes.
out and he attacks and he gives MJF the Blade Runner.
Yep.
And Jay White takes the belt, goes up the ramp, and he cuts a pretty tasty promo. He was like,
Yeah.
I like this belt. This feels good on me. I'm an elite wrestler. I think AEW
Yes.
needs to have an elite champion. And so
A
basically he
truly
goats
elite
MJF.
champion.
Yes.
Correct.
He
Yep.
goes MJF into getting him a match at Full Gear, which I'm all here for.
Yep.
We're getting to the point of, all right, the MJF opponents, should they be beating MJF? In my opinion, like him versus Jay White, I'm not sure if Jay White loses or if he should lose. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely getting to a point where he's facing opponents where the guys that he's facing are definitely credible enough and probably have, in some respects, a little bit of a leg up as far as careers go. That it's becoming
Hmm.
kind of interesting. It's a little unpredictable. Yeah, I mean, is he gonna beat Jay White? Probably. Should he beat Jay White? Probably not. Not at this point in his career. I mean, he's still, on the upward trajectory where Jay White's kind of at his peak, right? So like it
Yeah,
feels like there's a little bit of a gap there. But, at the same time, I mean, MJF is pretty fucking incredible. And, if you listen to Jimmy on True Hill Heat AEW Ramble, he thinks he's the best wrestler on the planet at the moment. So he
at
called
the
him Michael
moment.
Jordan today. So, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that comparison yet. I don't think he's there yet, but um,
Yet.
you know, but yeah, I mean, I don't. This is fun. I mean, you're right. He's getting into some competitors that are going to be very high echelon wrestlers that he's going to have to. It's going to be tough for him to win, and it's going to be one of those where, yeah, when we're making those picks, we're going to be like, damn, who's going to actually win this? Like, and if the storyline's
Right?
good, they can even do, the storyline can help build up that tension even more. So, yeah, no, yeah, sorry, we did skip that part, but yes, that was a fun segment.
Hmm.
Um,
For
that
sure.
was that was before the Omega and Jericho match. So,
Yeah.
and then, yep, then we had
Oh, then
uh,
lead to the backstage segment of the interview with Renee and
yes,
MJL,
yes,
right?
about the
And then
situation with Adam Cole. Yep.
right, then Matt Caster comes and he starts takes the place of the trainer and start massaging MJL's shoulders. Like,
Start
what?
massaging
Okay,
MJF's neck.
bruh, I done heard about you. You been stuck on me on Twitter. You're doing this. You're weird, bruh.
And that leads
Which
into Dolores' question. Dolores says, "You think the acclaimed are with MJF because Caster's been messaging and following MJF? Probably,
is
probably. I,
a
I mean,
is the funnest way to start whatever this is
right?
of him and the acclaim being friends, which sounds so weird, but I would love to see how y'all play this out. Please
Yeah,
show
I
me.
think it's funny, but I'm here for it. I like Max Caster. I think he's funny, and I love the acclaim. So I'm all here for this. And you're right. I mean, it's a fun way to maybe start something. I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I don't know if that looks like uh, the acclaimed getting a Ring of Honor title match or something. I don't know, but I'm here for it. I think it's fun either way.
Definitely.
Um, let's see. Then we had a commercial break. We came back. The Samoa Joe package, and we had Sky Blue heading to the ring for her match with Timeless Tony Storm, which is her new name, I guess,
Love
which
it.
I like. And Tony Storm got the win, which is good here. I mean, I like I said, this new Tony Storm, I love it. I'm here for it. She should get the win here. Um, they've pushed Sky Blue a little bit, so this is a nice win for Tony Storm. Although, again, Tony Storm seems on a little bit different level than Sky Blue, right? Sky Blue is still young and cutting her teeth really, and Tony Storm's been champion before at multiple companies. So, um, Tony Storm should get the win here, and I think she did pretty handily. But I didn't think that Sky looked terrible in the loss. What about
Mhm.
you?
No, so with every character, it one of the questions is how to translate into the ring. She is
Mhm.
translating this into the ring brilliantly. The whole attacking the corner and well, so we'll be back after these studios. I'm like, what are you doing? You're
Right?
so dumb. And then and like she tries to pin him 1 2 and it's not like how dare you? It's she is completing the character and it's a complete
100,
character which I love. You know,
100%.
uh
Yeah.
for
Yeah, I mean
Sky Blue.
this is
Oh,
definitely
go go go.
it was I was gonna say it was definitely a showcase for the new Tony Storm, right? I mean
Yes,
this was not about Sky Blue. This was definitely a showcase for the new Tony Storm.
yeah. And Sky, and so give Sky Blue the love. She did get missed in the eye by Julia. I wouldn't mind if they put them together, right? That I think that would help Sky Blue. But yeah, like you said, it's all about Tony Storm, and Tony Storm is killing it. Timeless Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm. And that brings us to the main event of last night's show, which was Adam Edge Copeland, the rated R superstar, in a ring with Tony Schiavone, saying, Tony, you were the voice of my childhood. It's surreal being here with you. I'm so happy to do this. Now get out of my ring, which I thought was hysterical. Um, it's like I said, I was never the biggest Edge fan. I'm an Edge and Christian fan. I'm a huge Christian fan, but
Right.
it's nice to see Edge with a smile on his face. He looks happy. This looks like he's gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm excited for that. So, he
Definitely.
said a lot of stuff. He called him by his he called Mr. Turtleneck, Captain Turtleneck by his government.
Said he's like, asked my girls, what should I do? They said go have fun with Uncle Jay. It's like for the promo, it works, but don't call him that Mo. Don't call him Mo. He's Christian. It's weird. He's Christian. Oh, are you stuck? Don't be stuck. So yeah. So for people who their big returns, the first promo is everything. This was a great first promo for Adam Copeland. We will try hard to call him Edge, right? So he was like, so to our point, Adam was like, I'll call him what y'all call him. Christian Cage, come out here. Christian Cage comes out with this serious heelish face as he normally has, right? And Edge does this not heartfelt, but like, hey, we're boys, and I'm gonna talk to you like you my boy, right? And so he was like, bruh, even though you really douchey right now, I love you. So I'm gonna give it to you straight. You know how this story happens, and I love that he's kind of keep telling us how the story's gonna happen. Like he's like, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne are just gonna suck you dry of your knowledge. They're gonna turn on you, and you'll be by yourself. So instead of just going down that road that unnecessary road of hardship, just join me. Let's end our careers together. Which I think everybody was like, yes, it's been too freaking long. Edge and Christian attack team again. He's like, come on, man. I've already in my mind is what he said. I'm here to face FTR. I need someone with me. It should be you. So let's do this. And then Edge is doing Adam is doing this great promo, right? Christian's face has not moved, didn't budge. when Adam was done, he said, "Bring it in, bring it in." He gives a hug, and you tell the people what he said on the mic.
No, he said. At first, I thought he just said no, and then I had to look at it again, and apparently he said, "Go fuck yourself." So, which is great for Christian at the moment. Like that's perfect for Christian. Um, it wasn't necessarily the response that I was expecting, and at the same time, I thought it was perfect here, and I thought it was perfect while they were hugging, and the look on Adam's face when Christian kind of backed away and ultimately left was like, yeah, that's perfect for Christian at the moment. Like, does
He's
he
like, "Are
want
you
to?
serious right
Probably part of him does want to rekindle the edge in Christian success, but at the same time, like he's so in his bag as TNT champion right now. Like, no, I
now?"
don't want you to
Yes,
come here and steal my thunder at the moment. No, I'm doing
yes,
this on my own. I am Christian at the moment. You know what I mean? And there's
yes,
always, there's been a lot of debate throughout the years, right? As a tag team, they're wonderful. Who's better as a singles wrestler in WWE? For all intents and purposes, Edge got way more push than Christian ever did. Christian did a lot more of
yeah,
his stuff away from WWE in both TNA and some other places. And don't get me wrong, he had plenty of good stuff in WWE, but he wasn't Edge in
or
WWE. And he's definitely this might be my favorite Christian of all time right now.
yes,
I mean, he might be the best he's ever been, which is saying
yes.
a lot. So, I get it. Like he's proving now. I think he's proving what a lot of us knew that he's the better of the two, in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I mean, I I was a little surprised that Edge or Adam took this kind of softer route with him. I thought it was going to be more confrontational. At the same time, it makes sense, and I like the way Christian said, "Go fuck yourself."
Like I hope Adam told his girls not to watch this not to watch this promo. Like, hey,
Right?
hey, hey, Uncle Jay tripping right now. So I'll tell you when to watch Uncle Jay when he get his senses back.
Uncle Jay had to give him a call before the show and say, "It's all just for fun. Don't forget, it's all
It's
just make
all just
believe. It's
Uncle
all
Jay
just for
still
fun."
loves y'all. It's
Uh,
fun.
I did think that this, for me personally, right now, the 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 two best stories in AEW right now, storylines, are the MJF Cole Roddy stuff and whatever
Mhm.
Christian is doing. And now that
Mhm.
Adam's there, Edge is there, it's even more. There's even more for Christian to do. There's more meat on the bone. So I'm all for it. And I thought this was a great main event segment. So
No, this is a perfect
um,
way to bring in Adam Copeland. It's perfect way to bring Adam
I
Copeland. Don't pass go. Ride it out. Let's go.
I agree. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Aftermath of Dynamite. So we'll go ahead and play our Workhorse Wrestling commercial, our Dolores commercial.
Mhm.
And if I can find it here. And here we go.
Boop.
Hey everybody, this is the Workhouse Wrestling Network schedule for this week. Ladies and gentlemen, Mondays on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, you have entered the square circle at 11 a.m. Let me tell you, Sammy and ALW, they battling it out to see who will be the Enter the Square Circle champion. Listen, you can't miss an episode. It is riveting. Okay? So just a little secret. Tune in 11 a.m. on Monday. Tuesday, it's Seeing Stars, 10:30 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm about to break your heart. We're taking a break because your girl needs some rest, okay? But when we come back, it's going to be fire because we're going to be seeing these stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling and GCW and Stardom. You ain't going to want to miss that either. But then the real party starts at 10:30 at night on Tuesday on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at the Cookout, where they play fire games and talk hot topics and have a good time. You're gonna have to pull you up a seat because we're gonna feed you real good. Ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesdays, all 4 night at 11:30 p.m. That's where you're gonna find the WWE meet. Okay, it is gonna be Raw and NXT with Sammy and ALW, and they preview WWE pay-per-views. Can't miss it. Can't miss it. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursday is live aftermath of Dynamite at 10:15 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Listen, we talk all things AEW, Rampage, Collision, the Dynamite from the day before. We preview shows coming up. We preview pay-per-views coming up. That is your one-stop shop for AEW. If you want to find out what happened, tune in at 10:15. Then on Friday, that's when the party starts for the weekend. Friday Night Fights at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Starting off at 8 p.m. with WWE SmackDown. And you're going to get the SmackDown from Anika and Sammy, I tell you. But then our parents, one of the parents, CM and ALW, going to come in and they just going to rampage everywhere. So you got to see it, okay? But then you wake up Saturday morning, and you know what you're gonna get? Under the radar with CM and ALW. And you know what you're gonna find? BTE, Impact, ROH, all these great things on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at 11 a.m. Okay? If you missed out on the week, they'll catch you up. And it ain't gonna take forever either. Ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday night is all right at 8 p.m. when we watch AEW Collision. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be great. We have a great time. That's generally when we all come back together again and have a good time on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's supposed to be our day off. But you know, if it's a pay-per-view, it's a Workhouse Wrestling Network. So make sure you tune in. If there's a pay-per-view on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this icon, YouTube audio, you can listen to us live, play hot games, talk hot topics. Just be great, okay? Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you see this icon on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, click it the next day and you can listen all to the party we had the day before. Ladies and gentlemen, also, last but not least, if you see this on YouTube audio, click it, okay? Because you know what you're gonna get? You get to listen to us watch along live to pay-per-views and shows and have a good time, okay? Because we dropping gems. You got Sammy with the food, CM with the knowledge, Anika with the good hard movies and work. And you got ALW, who he just drops old school wisdom. Okay? So make sure you join us. Until then, I want to let you know, peace.
Oh, okay. So, on that note, I'm going to wait a little bit to see if ALW comes back.
Okay, well, my
Yeah,
computer totally shut down in the middle of that commercial, so I don't know if the whole thing played or not. But
it did. It
it,
did. We're good. We're at the end.
as usual, thank you for joining us here at Workhorse Wrestling Network. I'm going to hit this outro, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.